Hello and welcome to this very first edition of Why Wednesday. My name is Preston Schmeidel. I am the head coach of Irondale Girls Swim and Dive, and I'm excited to be starting this YouTube series where I take a deeper dive into the sets that I write and the logic and emphasis behind them, all the way from the cardiovascular system, muscular system, nervous system, mental side of things, just giving you the whole rundown of what I'm doing and what I'm doing at practices and why I'm doing them at practices. Um, I think this is a great opportunity to kind of break down the sport a little bit further and help both my swimmers and their parents and guardians understand what we're doing day in and day out at the pool. This is a set from the summer of 2026. We just did it not too long ago as a summer practice. It's a sprint endurance set with the emphasis on the back half of the 100. Before we get into it, I want to talk a little bit more about what we're actually doing when we train. The muscles are getting stronger. There is water. So when we're training in the water does have resistance. This does mean that there is a little bit of stress put on the muscles and they do grow stronger, which just means we can kick harder and pull faster, which is 100% a good thing. On top of that, the body becomes more energy efficient, both with its nutrient use and its oxygen use. Um, as we build that cardiovascular capacity and as the body becomes used to being pushed harder and harder, it just runs better. It gets oxygen flow to the muscles at a higher level, and the nutrients that is used more effectively. The nervous system grows in its capability and comfort. The nervous system is designed to protect us, and I get a little bit of that in the next slide. So for you to become comfortable being uncomfortable is a good thing for your swimming. And our nervous system also tells us what to do. So when we grow its ability to tell our bodies to do things, because it protects us and shuts down or gives our body signals to stop well before our bodies are actually in a problematic spot. So that's the goal, is we're building the capacity and the comfort level of it. Mentally, the athlete becomes used to the feel of intense racing. When we're training and we're going through sets, we're simulating what we end up doing in races, and that makes the athlete more mentally comfortable with what we're doing race-wise, whether it's race strategy, race feel, whether it comes to the race hurting at the end of the race itself, or if it comes to the nerves or anything like that, we're mentally becoming stronger. And as a whole, the athlete becomes more capable. Every day you come to practice, every day you put in the effort, you become a more capable athlete, a more capable swimmer. And that's what we're doing when we train. On top of that, we have our nervous system. Now, our nervous system is very, very important when it comes to being a swimmer. Our nervous system is a big part of who we are as people, as our human bodies. You can think of it as the control center for the body. All the signals, all your senses are processed in your brain and your nervous system. When you react to the buzzer for the race to go, that's your nervous system sending the signals to jump off the blocks. When you go to pick up a glass of water, your nervous system is involved in sending the signals to your muscles to move. So it's very important. It helps put our body in a state of readiness, and it also helps us relax. It helps protect us from injury. Maybe you've noticed when you're stretching, you've had a yoga instructor say, keep calm and breathe slowly, and you'll be able to stretch deeper. Well, that's calming your nervous system down so it doesn't stop your body from stretching. It wants to protect you, and you can overstretch a muscle and get hurt. Your nervous system senses that tension, and it says, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on now. Let's reel it back in. But when you relax, that nervous system's like, okay, we're safe, we're okay, we can stretch deeper. Like I said, it tells the body what to do. This is your field general, you could think of it as. This is the guy who's out there calling the shots. This is what we're doing. And it can be trained, and you can modify it, and you can grow its capability. So that's what our nervous system is, kind of from a 30,000 foot view. Again, this information you've probably heard before in school or around other coaches or just in life. And if you haven't, you'll probably learn it at some point in school. It's pretty cool stuff. It's what I studied in college, and I find it very fascinating. I want to, talk about that more because I think it's really important when it comes to growing as swimmers. Moving into what we did in the pool for this practice, we started with our prep set. So after our brief, few turns of warm up, just getting the blood going a little bit more, we moved on to a prep set, which is designed to continue to warm the body up, but also start to zero in the focus of what we're going to do in the main set. So what we did was 550s, work the mid 25. So that mid pull 25, black line the black line into the turn. We did these on the rest 15. The idea behind these was to just get the nervous system activated. So this set activates the nervous system. Just like when your muscles need to warm up or your car needs to warm up in the winter, your nervous system needs to be activated and warm up. You might see a lot of swimmers, slapping their body or beating their chest or anything like that before races. That's activating the nervous system. That's turning on the fight or flight. That's getting ready for go time, and you're warming up your nervous system to be ready to send those signals quickly in order to swim faster and twitch those muscles quicker. Part of that is this set is designed to help the athlete feel that high tempo stroke. At this point, we've just done really relaxed warm up swimming. Well, now we need to start feeling what it's like to go faster and getting used to that stroke. So what are we doing? We're in that middle 25. We're swimming at about 85%, and we're feeling a higher level of kick, a higher level of tempo. We're just getting ready to go a little bit more. Mentally, this also gives the athlete time to prepare a focal point for the main set. Maybe it's a conversation I had with them of what we're working on, or something they want to work on, or just kind of what we're talking about with this set. I've probably explained a little bit of what the theme is today at this point when I'm doing a prep set. So the athletes have an opportunity to now be like, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on, and this is what I'm going to do in this prep set to get ready for it. And then basically, it raises the heart rate. This is increasing blood flow to the muscles. This is getting them ready for the necessary training so we can go at 100% capacity. Our main set was 8 125s. As I got it written out here. We did them on the rest minute, so they had a minute rest after each effort. Start with a 75 200 effort. When I say 200 effort, I'm saying the effort it feels like when you're racing a 200 freestyle. So the kick tempo, the stroke tempo, the rhythm, the effort. You're not going to sprint a 200 and a 50 the same way. I see them both as sprint events, but they're sprinted differently. And then they rested 5 seconds into a 50 at 100 effort. So that would be your 100 freestyle stroke rate, 100 freestyle kick rate, 100 freestyle intensity. Now to break down the components of this set a little further, the 5 seconds, the rest 5 you see there in the middle, this was designed and put in to allow the athlete to change gears mentally and physically. When you're going from that 200 effort to that 100 effort, it is a change of gear. And I find with the rest 5, that gives the athlete a second to breathe and a second then to go in and push off that wall in a whole different mindset and a whole different physical set. It's a lot easier to change that gear, and it makes the training more effective. You see that first 75? That is designed to put the athlete in a fatigue state. You have the first 50 of your 100 free, and if you're doing that 100 free at the end of the meet in the 4-foot relay, you're going to be tired. You're coming off 3 events, and you're going to be in a fatigued state. So this first 75 is designed to put the athlete in a more fatigued state that you would see when it comes to race day or that second 50. And then the repeated efforts, this just gives the body the opportunity and the athlete the opportunity to work in a physically stressed state, just like you are when you're racing. And it teaches the nervous system to be comfortable when pushed to sprint while tired. So when you're doing that 100 free and you're coming off that first 50 and you're starting to feel fatigued, it's the end of the meet and you need to race fast, you're going to be more comfortable if you do this set correctly in those moments because you've felt it before. You're going to come off the wall and be like, oh, I've done this 100 times and I know exactly what to do and I'm going to do it. I know that maybe the discomfort is temporary, but that the fun race, the fun time is going to be super meaningful and super worth it. And that's mentally a spot that the athlete's going to be in. So that's kind of the first breakdown of this main set. Beyond that, when we are tired and then we do what we need to do, we do that hard aspect of the set, that grows our capacity. So again, this is growing that capacity to sprint at the end of races. So that was the main set. That's kind of that's the premise for what we're doing in this main set. Just wrapping up. This is a quick first video. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Just to kind of conclude things with what we're talking about here. We want to simulate the stress that a swimmer feels or is going to experience in race in our training. That's how we swim faster. So when we focus on building that capacity, so if we go back to the main set here, we've built capacity up. So we've done it repeatedly. We've not just done it once, but we've done it 8 times where we've stressed the body and built that capacity. So when I say the word capacity, so when we do things again and again and again, we get better at them, right? So one day you come in, you do this set, maybe that second 50 you come in and you're going 38 seconds. Well, you do it 2 weeks later, or we do a set like that, maybe you then go 37 or 36 seconds. And by the time you get to the season, not only have you built your capacity and you've built your ability, your nervous system is more comfortable going faster, well, now we taper, we're rested, we put that fast suit on, and we just fly, right? 100 is easy when we've done 8 125s in a fatigue state sprinting. So we're doing that second 50 at sections or JV conference with the fast suit on, rested, shaved. All of a sudden, we are in a way better spot because it's just one time and we know how to do it. The body's ready to go, and then we just rip. And we swim fast. And like I said earlier, this is done by training both the muscles, the cardiovascular system, and the nervous system. The more we build up these systems, the better the body becomes at delivering oxygen and being comfortable in strenuous circumstances. We become faster. Again, I'll pop back over to the main set again. We're talking about the cardiovascular system. We're moving the whole time, right? So the body continuously is having to deliver oxygen to the muscles. And if the body is used to doing this, like in the set, 8 times for these 850s at the end, when it comes to just doing one in a singular meet, maybe you're doing the 100 free or you're doing the 100 free at the end of the meet in the 400 relay, that's a lot less strenuous and a lot less swimming than we're doing here. Excuse me. So we're built up more. So not only are we're tired here and we're getting up and we're sprinting, we're doing it again and again. So now the body, the nervous system is not freaked out. We're not freaking out as an athlete when we're feeling this pain, when we're feeling this discomfort. When the lactic acid is building up, we're like, okay, we're ready to go. And our bodies can handle this because we've also then built our cardiovascular capacity. We've continued to do this, and the body has been, has been forced to adapt to deliver more oxygen. So then we produce lactic acid slower, which is the parts that's the byproduct of racing really hard that can make your muscles feel really sore. And now we're in a better spot. So this is why this is important. And then lastly, each time we're in a set, we have the opportunity to find parts of our races that we can work on, become better on. The best swimmers, the swimmers that improve the most throughout the year, are the ones that can take my coaching or my assistant coach's coaching and then coach themselves. They can learn the sport themselves. They can learn their own body awareness, and they can apply that to the sets they do day in and day out. So that kind of does it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Don't hesitate to reach out with questions. I'm looking forward to making more of these YouTube videos, becoming better at making these YouTube videos. One of my goals is the athletes are going to pick which set throughout the week that I drill down on and explain the why behind it as we get into the season. So this is going to be a kind of a call and response, a conversation type series that we're doing, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So comment questions you have, reach out to me with questions you have. That maybe I didn't get to in this video, or maybe something didn't make sense. I want to, be a voice to explain what I'm doing with these videos. So thanks for watching, and looking forward to the season starting here in August.